I feel very, very proper today as we come to you on another Monday. Of course, it's your favorite host with the most, Johnny, and our favorite counselor, which I don't know how to rhyme that with something, but Counselor Holly McGinnis, and we are here with another Mindful Mondays, which I love.
I do too.
It's been a good 4 or 5 months that we've been doing this.
We started releasing.
Oh my goodness! And so I'm excited to hear how people have reacted. I mean, that's a good habit.
Yeah.
To show up and talk to us. And let's talk about, I just want to say, what we're going to talk about today is one of my biggest pet peeves. And I say that because it's exactly the person I was in my 20s. Yeah. And it's relationships and expecting your significant other to basically be psychic.
Yes.
And why can't they hear what I'm saying? This is a problem a lot of us have.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I want to talk about this. What brought this to your mind?
Years of doing marriage counseling.
Oh, right. Is it amazing that you would run into that same...
Oh, it's pretty normal. And I have been guilty of that as well in relationships. Yeah. The reason it is because the biggest problem that I've seen time and again in relationship counseling is assumptions. You know, assuming that, well, I said it this way, that your partner's going to get that.
Yeah.
That your partner's going to catch what you're laying down. What you may say to, say, your best friend, who will catch it immediately, will not necessarily translate to your partner.
And even your best friend is not always going to get it. This idea that someone else knows you that well, it doesn't mean they don't love you.
Yeah,
because they can't read your mind.
Yeah. Just like counselors, contrary to popular belief, we can't do that.
Right.
So, but we're a little bit better in that we read body language, we read facial expressions, all those kind of things.
I mean, I'm glad my counselor can't read my mind.
Kurt
it would be crazy.
Is being a crazy man back there.
He typically is.
Yes, he's trying to mess with me is what he's doing.
If you guys, one of these days, we'll show you behind the scenes while we're trying to record a show.
Yeah.
That'll be great. One of the things, so human relationships, I think no matter if they're romantic or whether, they all take work and a sense of yourself, right? In my 20s, I was a psycho. And I was. And I was because I think I had abandonment issues, it made it worse.
Sure.
And so I had expectations that were unrealistic. Now, given they don't get off the hook, I dated some pretty not okay guys. But it was this idea that I need you to fix this, so I need you to understand me and read my mind. That's not realistic. If you don't understand yourself enough, you can't expect that from your partner.
No. And a lot of times when I see that happen, I can run a golden thread back to childhood where needs were not getting met.
Right.
When I've said it before, when I was in grad school, I specialized in child adolescent families. And there are times when parents are not able to be the parents that they should. Human beings survive on relationships. The reason we're at the top of the food chain is because we have to be together. We have no protection as a human being against anything.
Yeah.
Except up here.
It's all about community.
And it's important to understand that nobody can fix your pain except you. You can't give that. You're going to get, if you go into a relationship where you're expecting your partner to fix you or be what you expect them to be, and you are asking of them and you don't tell them, that hurt. I didn't like that. I need time to process. We need to come back to this. If you don't communicate, it doesn't work. And I'll tell you something. Most people who would come to me with physical intimacy issues in the marriage had no emotional intimacy.
Oh, yeah, so you can't connect the pieces.
You cannot. If you want a good sex life, you need to have a good emotional life.
Thank you.
You need to have a partner who can see you at your ugliest, let you cry on their shoulder, and still think you're the most amazing human being on the planet.
Yeah.
And not everybody's ready to do that.
Right. Well, and there's so many pitfalls in relationships. I know another pitfall I used to fall into is when you start criticizing and stop loving, you
Yes.
stop, that becomes a perpetuation, you know?
I
of
call that the
same thing.
toothpaste model.
The toothpaste model?
Yeah. Some people are very particular about how they do their toothpaste. You roll it from the bottom
yeah.
and all the way up, and other people just squeeze it. And people get annoyed. And that's like the pebble at the top of the
Yes.
mountain of snow.
Yeah.
And it starts rolling down, and it picks up snow, and resentment builds, and anger builds, and frustration builds.
Yes.
And you can't fix that unless you wait a minute.
Yes. You sit and
need
you
to
talk
talk.
with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to, there's a personal responsibility, which maybe comes from years of being single. So I probably should balance that as well. But there's this thing because I was a youth pastor for a long time when I was younger. And one of the things we would talk to kids about was understand that in the end, listen, no one's getting out of childhood unscathed.
Nope.
So there are some things that happen to you, but if you are so determined to blame the people back here that you're not doing the work, those people are never going to fix it for you. So understand that, okay, when you're an adult, when you're cognitive of all these things, it is now yours. No matter whose fault it is, you get to decide what life you have. And that might mean you need to go get help for those pieces, but you have to take a personal responsibility. Yes. I think that's for every relationship we have, because it's how, as humans, we interact with each other. So to think another human is going to know me so well that they can give me all the answers, no, I would much rather work together.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Communicate and be honest. And yeah, it might hurt for a second, but it's the only way you know whether it's going to work going forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or this lovely,
Absolutely.
I love the concept of conscious uncoupling.
Yeah.
Of if you do feel like it's better apart, there's a way to do this.
Yeah.
And
Without a
honor each other.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. I think
And
that's
if
amazing.
you've had multiple relationship failures over very similar situations,
Oh, true.
you probably need to get some work done on yourself.
Right? And that's okay. I wish everybody would go to counseling. We don't just need it for crisis
No,
situations. You
in
know
fact,
what I
most
mean?
of the people that I work with are not in crisis situations.
Right.
They are struggling with, I work in the military. And no, I'm not in the military. I work with military.
You're military adjacent.
Yes, so that's a good way to put it. And it's very much like when I was in private practice. I'm not I rarely see bipolar schizophrenia now. I've dealt with that and I've treated that. But these are folks who are struggling with relationships, getting out of the military, past childhood trauma, and a lot of women who have unique issues in the military. But they come because they need help. They need tools. Remember, when we started this, we did it by building a toolbox.
Yes. Which you should review because it's great.
Yeah, we had a great time with
Yeah.
that. But relationships are difficult for a reason, because humans are complex.
Yeah.
And you have to be brave enough to want to hear and learn and understand your partner. And you have to be brave enough to share
Yeah.
yourself with your partner.
And just think, if you're having turmoil, they're a human like you. So it probably means you guys have to just figure it out and work together to find it. Because we're all not so special and unique that no one feels like we feel. You know what I mean? It's okay to embrace that, this is a human issue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And if you are in a relationship and you're starting to have a bumpy road, go to counseling.
Yeah.
That's when you should go to counseling. I cannot tell you how many times I would do marriage counseling or relationship counseling, and one person had their foot out the door.
Yes. Oh.
And it's just, and I already knew.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I would give it my best shot,
Yeah.
but better chance than not, it wasn't going to work.
Right. And typically that's me with my foot way out
At
here.
the door instead of talking about it.
I mean, you don't get my age and still be single for nothing. So just understand that relationships take work.
They do.
And it's okay. And I find human relationships fascinating. Communication styles. I love finding that place to communicate. You have to find the balance of respect in all of it. There are so many subject matters in this we could talk about. I have a lot of past awfulness. So we'll just go through my dating history.
We'll do that.
It'll be fine. But remember, please go to our website, thequeercentric.com, every Monday and check out some more wise words that Holly has for us and some ridiculousness that I have for you. And that's what I have. So, Holly, say this is like the dating game. Bye.